Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're back in the Total War Warhammer Mortal Empires YouTubers tournament. Man, what a mouthful. I'm going to be facing up against JonTaun in this match. This is actually round 5, and you guys might be saying, hey, that's out of order. And you know what? You're totally right. We actually played these out of order. If you go look at the challenge page, you'll see that the first round was, or the first set of rounds was essentially a round robin where we would play everyone regardless, and so it didn't really matter the order that we played the matches in. So due to scheduling conflicts, you know, we have people all around the world participating. We decided to just play them in whatever order we could. So this is round 5 being played second. I'm going to be again facing up against JonTaun playing as the Empire, which is definitely a rough matchup. JonTaun's widely regarded as a very good Empire player, so I've definitely got my work cut out for me. And my replay actually got corrupted, which is why you see me in the away team red and JonTaun with the home team gold, just because I had to get the replay from him. But thank you for JonTaun, and a big shout out to Shadow Online Gaming for organizing the whole tournament. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description below. Go check it out if you want to see some of the other games that were played in the tournament. As I understand, he's casting all of them, so definitely go check that out. In terms of army compositions here, let's get to that. So we've got the Warlord on the Bonebreaker. He's got heavy weapon strength, high mass, 70 armor. Lots to like about this guy. Also relatively cheap, coming in at about 1,500. He's got 2 units of Brad Ogres here. You know, good anti-cav units, and lots of Skaven Slave Spears, as you guys know I like to use, and 2 Skaven Slave Slingers. Front line here is Plague Monks mixed with Death Runners. Just in case we saw some great swords here, I figured maybe bring some Death Runners might be good. We've also got a Warlock Engineer, just in case of flying units as well. Howling Warp Gale, Warp Lightning for some anti-infantry, and the Mortis Engine Drain Warpstone Armor. So very good stuff. We've also got 2 units of Poison Wind Globadiers, and yeah, that's pretty much it, besides these 2 units of Gutter Runners with Poison out here on this flank. So for JonTaun's army, he's got a front line of Swordsmen, and then an unbreakable second line here of, looks like Flagellants, the Sigmar Sons, Tattersouls, very good stuff. Free Company Militia backing them up along with the Silver Bullets and a unit of reserve Spearmen. Volkmar the Grim is the leader here on his chariot, which is a very good pick against the Skaven. I had brought the Warlock Engineer with the Howling Warp Gale just in case of a Flying Lord, but I definitely instantly regretted that decision. I mean, I should have planned for Volkmar. He's super strong in this matchup, and although, you know, a General on a Griffin might be more of a surprising pick, Volkmar's super good here. What makes him so good is obviously the Fear and Terror. He's on a chariot, so he's hard for the Skaven to pin down. He's got regeneration, lots of great buffs. I mean, there's tons to like here. Banishment, of course, which he can take if he's up on the chariot, is a very strong vortex spell, especially against you know, units with a lot of units, just like the Skaven tend to bring. And of course, he also does have missile resistance of 15% and magic resistance of 40%. Now, the magic resistance is huge, and it's a reason why these Knights of the Blazing Sun here, which JonTaun has brought 2 of, are also a very good pick as well. They also have magic resistance of 25%. The reason being that Skaven anti-large missiles, by and large, deal magic damage. So if you take a look at Poison Wind Globadiers, they've got magic ammunition. If we look at the Warp Lightning Cannon, that as well has magic ammunition. So although the 25% of the Knights of the Blazing Sun isn't great, it is going to help mitigate some of that damage. And of course, for Volkmar the Grim, if you add the missile resistance and the magic resistance, that's 55% of the damage that's going to be mitigated. So it's really, really rough to use those, you know, Poison Wind Globadiers and the Warp Lightning Cannon against Volkmar. So definitely would have made some different picks, but we'll go over that at the end. In terms of tactics here, right now JonTaun's doing a good job screening a bit of friendly fire actually from that Warp Fire Cannon, which is a Warp Lightning Cannon rather. It's very unfortunate, but yeah, I am shooting through the woods here, which is definitely not ideal. I might score a hit or 2, but most of the shots are going to be hitting the trees, so that's pretty inefficient. I definitely need to be focus firing, honestly, at this point on this unbreakable front line. Flagellants are a big, big danger to Skaven infantry, and I don't quite have all the tools I need to deal with them. If I had some more Plague Monks, it would be perfect, but unfortunately these Death Runners really will not trade efficiently against Flagellants. They're more meant against armored infantry, and JonTaun didn't bring any great swords whatsoever, so definitely regretting this decision. They are more expensive than Plague Monks as well, so if I replaced both of these Death Runners with Plague Monks, it would have gone a lot better. But let's see how it goes so far. Getting some early fire in on the Swordsman, which is alright, but Swordsmen aren't that high value of a target, and the poison on these Death Runners, or sorry, Gutter Runners, you know, it's probably better used on some higher value targets like these Flagellants, for example. We're just trying to zone out these Knights of the Blazing Sun here. Meanwhile, over on this flank, I'm getting a little aggressive with my Rat Ogre squad here, pushing up with some Skaven slaves with some spears. I felt pretty confident taking an engagement in this forest, that even if JonTaun were to engage with his ranged units here, that I would be, you know, the line of sight obstruction from the trees would be able to help swing that fight in my favor. I was looking to get on Volkmar and these Knights of the Blazing Sun here, but well, JonTaun's a very good player. He's going to immediately pull these guys back, come in with these infantry here, and just start firing away with these Free Company and Silver Bullets, and just pull those cavalry away. They don't need to take that engagement. So meanwhile, the mainline fight is engaging. We finally targeted this Warp Lightning Cannon onto the infantry, but unfortunately it's on a little bit of a back slope here, which is kind of awkward. It can't really get good line of sight on these infantry right here. You can see one hitting the hill there. But these Swordsmen and these Flagellants are going to be charging into the woods over here. I was, honestly, you can see me starting to pull back here. I honestly should pull back to kind of this rock, be a nice defensive position, and then I could respond to the cavalry as they come in. Instead, I'm going to push forward here and get a little bit too aggressive and take the bait on these Swordsmen, which, granted, I will plow over these Swordsmen. They're going to have a really rough time here. But these Flagellants as well, but the Flagellants won't break. The Swordsman will probably break very quickly, but now you can see the Knights of the Blazing Sun are getting a counter charge, which is going to be huge. Rat Ogres don't have a whole lot of armor, so the high charge bonus of the Knights of the Blazing Sun is going to do a ton of shock damage on the charge. You can see those guys already taking a huge amount of damage, the other unit already getting routed off. Doesn't help that Volkmar causes fear and terror, and he was temporarily in here. Looks like he's cycled back out. He's heading towards the mainline fight, and I missed it, but oh man, JonTaun just got a beautiful burning head. Here you can see the remains of all these roasted Skaven, this giant charred path on the ground where that burning head just came down and roasted my entire main line. So yeah, he did quite a bit of friendly fire there as well. I managed to pull through with one unit of Plague Monks and one unit of Death Runners, but it cost me these Death Runners. These Plague Monks are pretty much done for. These slaves, you know, this is actually pretty good for me. The burning head is just going to stop just shy there, but if it had continued on, that would have been alright. But yeah, that roasting of the main line is going to be really, really tough. We've also got the Skaven Slave Slingers routing off, and this is going to leave these Poison Wind Globadiers horribly exposed. I need to pull these Skaven Slaves forward and, you know, help screen, because right now the Knights of the Blazing Sun have free reign to come back and get on these guys, so I really need to be pulling these Skaven Slave Spears forward. Unfortunately, my micro is a little bit slow there, and I'm not going to get them in protected position in time. You can see this the Rat Ogre combat over here decisively went against me. I'm trying desperately to extricate my Warlord from here. He's taking a ton of missile fire. This other unit of Rat Ogres is pretty much gone at this point. Meanwhile, the Death Runners are trying desperately to catch up. You can see the Knights of Blazing Sun landing a decisive charge here, getting on these Poison Wind Globadiers as well as the Warp Lightning Cannon here. And Volkmar is going to come through and do some nasty terror routing, it looks like. Man, what a beautiful cinematic battle. I love the Volkmar Crusade build against the Skaven, so definitely agree with JonTaun's picks here. He's going to just be plowing over all of my Death Runners and Plague Monks here. You can see Skaven flying in every direction, and it's pretty much GG at this point. Balance of power is still very close, but having had this entire center pocket broken, I have nothing to secure my Globadiers. They're the only chance I have at coming back against these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Although they do have magic resistance, it's going to be not ideal, but they will take some damage. But he's got this healthy unit of Free Company here. Silver Bullets have taken relatively little damage. I do have these two units of Gutter Runners who have mostly out of ammo at this point. Unfortunately, they've been spending it on relatively low-value units. I really needed to get these guys up and around here and get them on some of these high-value skirmishers. A couple Warp Lightnings going down on the Silver Bullets, but just not enough to rout them off here. And unfortunately, this force pushing through the forest over here is going to be able to finish off the Rat Ogres. Just continue to push through. Meanwhile, Volkmar's terrorizing what's left. We did get the Warp Lightning Cannon back online, but so going to be a little bit too little too late. You can see the balance of power starting to move against me, and man, those Globadiers just really regretting their life decisions coming into this battle. And Volkmar is going to be terror routing away these Plague Monks, so it's really, really tough for me at this point. We are going to be able to finish off this unit of Flagellants here, But man, those Free Company, although the Warlord does have 70 armor, at the end of the day, 70 armor isn't that much, and Free Company will do a lot of damage because of their high model count. These guys haven't taken almost no damage, are still at 87 out of 90 unit models, so just trying desperately to get on these Knights of the Blazing Sun here, but this Warlord's pretty much done for, and with his morale going, the rest of the Skaven morale is going to shatter, and it's pretty much going to be game at that point. So very well played to JonTaun. It was definitely a rough fight, and I like some of my picks here, but definitely should have brought more Plague Monks. Not a big fan of the Warlock Engineer here either, just because you'll rarely see a Griffin, I think. Volkmar's just so much of a better pick. You may occasionally see Griffins, but even then, if you had the right kind of build, you could still deal with Griffins. I would have cut one of those units of Death Runners to bring another Plague Monk, and then brought Lore of Plague with a Plague Monk summon. And let's see. I think the Warlord did okay. I got him kind of isolated, and that was more my bad. But if you cut, I might also cut these Poisonman Globadiers. Honestly, their range is so short, and they just couldn't deal the damage fast enough to the Knights of the Blazing Sun and Volkmar. I probably would just cut these guys in favor of 2 more Gutter Runners with Poison, just to screen their advance, or maybe help protect the flanks, even just protect the rear lines using the Poison and the nets to just bog down those high mass units, while the Rat Ogres can then chase them down. Something like that I think would have been a lot better, but very well played to JonTaun. It's definitely a tough opponent, and yeah, I just didn't have the right army picks, and I kind of misplayed it as well, to be honest. So hope you guys enjoyed watching that tournament cast. Take a look at JonTaun's channel. He actually produces for the Total Brohammer channel, so I'll leave a link to his channel down below. Of course, also check out Shadow Online Gaming, the organizer of the tournament, for more tournament action. I'm going to be bringing you the rest of the games that I've played, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time.